Hey, what's happening, Tim with Nomad Trading? It's time for Runner Recap, Nomad Nation. So let's take a look at what was moving today. My trades, what you guys traded, the hot stocks, all that wonderful stuff of the day. It was kind of a slower day today, I thought anyway. I didn't see near as much today that I liked, which is funny because then I got bored and traded more times than I did yesterday. I think because yesterday, I got it in my head that, hey, you just need to pull the trigger more. You need to pull the trigger more. So then I pulled the trigger a few more times today, and it was on a day that the market was slower and runners weren't running as much, and just overall not as good a scenario. So pulling the trigger more didn't end up very well. But let's take a look at what I did today. Let's see. So I made $50 on UUU, $60 on TENX in my CMEG account. But I gave it all back. Well, not all of it, but I gave most of it back with a stupid trade in my E-Trade account where I lost $83. So gave back almost all of it. Even if I hadn't, it's not that big of a winning day. $100 a day is my goal, so I would be happy if I could make $100 a day. That's a great jumping off point. Then once I feel confident that that's consistent, then I'll scale up even more. So I'm just trying to make $100 a day. That's the goal, and I've been doing that, and I did do that. Had I not made a stupid trade at the end and broke a bunch of my rules, and as any trader knows that's trying to figure all this out, a lot of times that's what it comes down to, is breaking your own rules, getting bored, and then taking trades you shouldn't take. So let's see. Let's look at TENX. That was the one. First, let's look at UUU. Somebody had brought that up yesterday in the after hours, and it ended up being this crazy stock today. I forget who brought that up after hours yesterday, but this move here was crazy, and I was thinking about shorting it here, and it would have been a nice short. After I got off of here, got off the live stream, I was still thinking maybe I should short this in the mid sixes because it looked like it was going into resistance. If you looked far enough out on the chart, there was a lot of consolidation in the sixes, and it would have worked great. But I don't hold overnight, so anyway, I didn't take the trade. It seemed too risky, up over double what it started at from the threes to the sixes. Seemed risky after hours, and I knew that I didn't want to hold it overnight, and this is exactly why. Had I held that short overnight, because as far as I know, there was no, exactly the news right here. There is no reason for the stock price surge. I couldn't find any news last night when we were talking about it in the live stream. Sure enough, all I could find was regurgitated news of the buyout thing, the DPW buyout, which is down here from 26 days ago. So I saw people regurgitating that, but didn't see any new reason why this stock would be moving. Hi, everybody in the chat. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe, all that wonderful YouTube stuff if you haven't already. Thank you so much for the support. Anyway, back to it. So, yeah, we were looking at this last night, and I thought, I can't find any news on it. It just seems like the same regurgitated news, but still, I know I don't want to hold it overnight, and this is why. You hold these low-float stocks overnight, and the next thing you know, you're caught with your pants down with $10 a share or more loss. So I'm glad I did not take that trade. I know I wouldn't have held it overnight anyway, so I would have ended up cutting it here before. And that's probably what this was. It was probably people shorting it and then getting squeezed as they were trying to get out of it, not wanting to hold it overnight because of that. So if we zoom in a little bit to today, this was another one. Just like yesterday, we talked about the dangers of what was the stock yesterday that got halted most of the day and ended up, I'm sure, hurting a lot of people. Was it this one? Yeah, I think this is the one. Went from threes to whatever the high was, $38. Got halted for a long time and then didn't unhalt until it was under 21. So we talked about that yesterday and how that can happen a lot with these halt plays and how they're so dangerous. And, what do you know? Again, today, exactly what happened on UUU. So it starts ripping up. Let's look at today. Starts ripping up, ends up getting halted. I think it got halted earlier. Did it get halted earlier? I could be wrong. For some reason, I was thinking it had a halt before that, but maybe not. Anyway, this I could have sworn it got halted. Not seeing it on here though. I could have sworn it got halted on the way up. Anyway, this right here, just a crazy drop, gets halted, and not for just a 5-minute halt. It halts for a long time, and then the news change, the halt code changes, and it's pending news, and the same situation as yesterday, which you see a lot of the time with these halted stocks, and then you end up caught with your pants down because the news is there is no news. So when they come out, they don't want to get investigated and get themselves in trouble. So the company will come out and say, hey, we don't know why this is up. Sometimes it'll happen during the day. Sometimes it'll happen after hours. Sometimes it'll happen in the morning. But that's why it's really dangerous to play these stocks that are up huge and you can't find any news anywhere. And then you end up on the wrong side of a halt and the company comes out and says there is no news. And then it's nothing but down from there. You're not going to see a huge move back up when the company confirms there is no news. So my heart goes out to anybody that was stuck in that, and then it opened up down here and had to take a big loss on it. But put your hand on the stove enough times, and then the next time you won't do it. That's why I didn't trade this. I was watching it since yesterday. It popped up big after hours. I was watching it this morning, and I thought, right out of the gate, this thing's going to get halted, and I don't want to be caught on the wrong side of a halt on a stock that I can't find any news for, because then this will happen. So be very careful with these stocks. What's up, Mr. X? Anyway, so yeah, that was you can make money on them. I'm not saying you can't make money on them. Like, there are opportunities to make money on these stocks. It's just becomes super risky. So anyway, today, UUU, I made money on it because I shorted it at 12, somewhere in here. I think it was. No. Yeah, was it in here? Trying to figure out exactly where I took my trade. It was right in here. So it had skyrocketed up, then pulled all the way back, starts ripping back up, but then looked like it was having trouble in the 12. So I shorted it, but a very small position, not taking very much risk, because I knew that I was risking off high of day, and had it shot up, I would have been stopped out and been done with it. So it was a very small position because I was risking almost $1 a share, $2 a share. 13 was kind of like, if it breaks 13, I'm just going to go ahead and get out of it. So basically $1 a share. But I thought, this could fail or get halted going down and come back down here to the 6s or below. So it seemed risk reward wise like it was a good plan. Get out if it breaks 13 and then hold if it goes down. Ended up hitting VWAP, and I was still holding it, but it rocketed up off of VWAP, and I just got out of it for just a $50 win or $60 win, whatever it was. So I made money on it, but just very little, because I got scared. Just like I was talking about in my video yesterday about confidence, and if your confidence isn't there, just get out. And that's what happened to me there, where I had the right idea, and I would have had to hold through a little bit of pain on this move right here, but I just didn't feel comfortable with it. It started shooting up, and all I could think was, oh man, what if this thing goes to $20 and I don't get out fast enough? So I just took the small winner and jumped out of it. Anyway, would have been amazing had I held it down to here. Even with the small share size, it would have been I don't know, probably $500, $700 winner. I don't know what the position was, but it was pretty small. Anyway, that was my trade on that. That's the one I wanted to talk about too, because it was the craziest one that I saw today. And then, of course, now it's going back from whence it came. TENX was the highest volume stock, I would say, trading 230 million shares. This was probably the one that everyone's eyes were mainly on. I got lines all over it from watching it today and trading it. So in my CMEG account, I had the right idea with shorting it. I actually shorted it. Let's see. Where did I short it at? I had my lines kind of drawn because it looked like it was just consolidating here as it started to break down, and I shorted it and then covered it here. I really thought this with the volume and everything and with the news, I thought that this very possibly would go back to touch high of day again. And so I just took a real quick scalp on it, got out of it with that $50 or whatever winner it was. And, then I was going to be done with it until later on, which this is where this comes into play here. I watched this go all the way down without me here. I could have definitely held that and made a lot more money, but I thought that it was going to bounce and then head higher. It was so choppy and kind of consolidating here that my thinking was it's holding up fairly well, even though it's given back its gains, but it's consolidating pretty well in this mid-2 range. So my thinking was it's going to end up going high in the afternoon. So ended up taking that profit, getting out of it, watching it go without me. Then it gets down here, and for some reason I was still in that that mental space that, hey, this is going to end up bouncing off of here. It's kind of held that $2 range a couple of times. So I drew this, and right here I had to leave. So I'm leaving the house right here, and my thinking is, hey, this is consolidating, and I think it's going to move back towards VWAP, and I'll just get out of it somewhere up here in the 230 range under VWAP. So this is where I made the mistake. This is where I broke my own rules. First of all, I'm buying it under VWAP. I'm buying it. It was a red to green move at 214. So I was watching that, and right when I was getting ready to buy it, it was looking to break 214, which would be a red to green move. So I'm thinking, hey, it's going to go red to green. It's going to pop through that resistance at 14. Then it's going to fly up here. I'm just going to scalp it up here to below VWAP and then get out of it. But I had to leave. So I break my rules because, number one, it's down below VWAP. I don't like to buy stocks below VWAP typically. I had the right idea with the red to green move, but just not the right scenario to be playing that. And also, I had to leave, so I wasn't going to be watching it or anything. It was kind of like a, hey, I'm leaving, so Hail Mary, let's just put a stop loss in and roll with this. It makes no sense. I don't know why I did it, but I did. So I took that trade and put a stop loss in, and of course, I got stopped out. So, yeah, that was stupid. Sometimes we do stupid things when we're learning how to trade, and like I've said in all my videos, I'm not some trading guru millionaire guy. I'm just I'm trying to figure out how to become a full-time trader, finally finding some success with that, and recognizing patterns and all those things, and making some progress. But then I do stupid things like that. I have $100 and some winner, positive day in the CMEG account. So things are going good, and then I take this stupid trade here that I should have never took just because I'm leaving, and I'm like, oh, I'll just take it and put a stop loss on, and when I come back, it'll be up here, and I'll be making money on it. It's just stupid. Not a good plan, not a good setup, not something I would normally be trading, and for whatever reason, I did it. So, yeah, sometimes you're your own worst enemy. No trades for you, Mr. X, huh? Boring day overall, I thought. So we had that. And of course, I'm kicking myself. But the good thing is that I trade small in both my accounts. So making or losing $100 or breaking even. So I still was green for the day, which I guess is what counts. But you know how it is. We're all our own worst enemy and our own worst critic. So seeing myself make that stupid trade and doing that is just like, why did you do that, Tim? You know better than that. You haven't been doing that for weeks, and yet here you are just taking some random trade down here below VWAP, below the 200 on the stock that's red on the day at that point and fading. It just makes no sense. And even on the daily chart here, there would have been resistance at the 230 range, which is why I wanted to get out at that point. I thought it would bounce back up to there and I would just get out. But my thinking was also this support around $2, which has actually held up. So, that part of my thinking wasn't really wrong. It's just that it didn't do what I thought. I thought it would be stronger and it would keep going. It's looking now like it may end up fading. But again, I don't hold my shorts overnight. I don't hold anything overnight most of the time, but definitely not shorts overnight, because next thing you know, you're in UUU and you're upside down by a long shot. Let's see what else was moving. TCCO was another hot one. I guess you could say just faded the whole day. Would have been a better short. It's another one of these stocks where if you look at the past here, you can see it's got a history of being a rocket and then fading back down. It does not hold its gains, basically. Up and then fades back down, up, fades back down, up. So, it's pretty likely that it was coming back down. People see all the history on that. They know that. So that plays a factor. I wish I had been watching this one around this VWAP rejection here, because I would have gone short maybe on the rejection from VWAP after having such a big pullback from up in the 17s down to below 10. I wish I would have been watching that, and I would have seen that it had trouble breaking VWAP and gone short, and then I probably would have covered right here, because I play things pretty conservatively. But like I said, still learning and all that. But anyway, not very many opportunities on that other than the short side. KOSS was similar, I think. Yeah, KOSS was another one I was watching, but it was similar, where it just pretty much faded all day, not a lot of opportunity. I was kind of just the way the market was today. It's one of those days where I didn't see a whole lot, kind of a choppy market. This is SPY ETF, the overall market. So opened up higher in pre-market, sold off, and ended up being fairly choppy throughout the day. Looks like the Dow, NASDAQ, S&P all ended up down, or as of right now are down. So let's see. Let's look at the overall market on the daily. So it looks like we hit a new all-time high, but, well, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this one here. Did it really go that high? I didn't think it did. I feel like that's a mistake on E-Trade's platform, but I could be wrong. Anyway, whatever. So pretty much a red day on the market. A lot of times, like we've talked about, 3 out of 4 stocks follow the market. So if you're having a red day like on SPY, or the markets are trading sideways or kind of down, a lot of times that puts a cap on the momentum world, and you don't see near as much moving and not near as many plays to take, unfortunately. Anyway, let's see. It's just a slow day. You can tell because there's not much to talk about as far as stocks go, and there's not many people in here wanting to chat about stocks, not very many playbacks, not as many people on StockTwitch. Just overall, the stock market is slow today. Happens on red days. What else can we talk about? What else was there here? Let's see if I can find any other hot stocks that were moving that I wasn't watching. INPC, I think, was moving, but it's like a $50 stock, which I think that's what was it? That was not the ticker. The ticker is something like that. What was it? INTC? Yeah, that's what it was. INTC was hot earlier today. Rocketed up from 46 to over $50, so it was a pretty good mover today. But the chart, I looked at this earlier, it had decent volume. You got 84 million shares traded. But looking at the chart, like the daily chart, look at that mess. The daily chart is such a mess. You got gaps literally everywhere. There are gap ups and gap downs, and such a mess. It's a chip maker, microchip stock, like MU, I think. But anyway, the daily chart I just thought was such a mess to look at. But it does, it's got some opportunities on it, but you got to have a little deeper pockets to be day trading $50 stocks. I personally stay away from them usually. RMG was another one. Down big today. Started its downward move yesterday, and this thing has just sold off like crazy from 39 all the way down to 27s now, 26 at one point. Yeah, that's a huge loser today. 14% again today. I don't know what it lost yesterday, but yeah, that's not ideal. That's one of those SPAC plays that is going through a ticker change, I think, today. Let's see what it says. Romeo Power to commence trading under symbol RMO beginning December 30th. Yeah, so there's an acquisition and ticker change situation. But selling off going into that, apparently. We'll see what the future brings. It's another one, though, that's up there in the 20s and 30s and starts getting kind of expensive. What else? Let's see what's hot over here on StockTwits right now. SGBX. It's got a decent move, but not a ton of range, less than $1. It's okay. I don't see news down here. Looks like on the daily it might be curling up, which could be what's going on with it. Yeah, curling up a bit. Got past that 550 area right there, but coming up on 6. And as you can see, the top of this candle here, where this day opened, was right there. Same place you see the top of this candle here, topping out. So these kinds of things aren't coincidences. You start looking for resistance. You're looking for previous highs, previous tops, previous opens, and things like that. So ideally, this would not be there, and then you'd be looking for this to curl up, and there'd be nothing really to go off as far as resistance goes, but not the case. Let's see what else we got. ARCT is down a lot, but I have no. It's another higher price. Oh my goodness, that's brutal. Shout out to Nomad Nations, baby. Awesome. So yeah, that's brutal. I'm kind of glad I clicked on that. That's crazy. That thing was up at $100 and is now down at 42. My gosh. Of course, it's a biotech. Slides 55% after COVID vaccine data is deemed underwhelming. Yeah, that's why biotechs are so dangerous. The most money I've ever lost has been on biotechs, multiple times on biotechs. They can be awesome runners, but they can also be crazy losers. That's just, crazy. It went from $34 down here, had a run all the way up to, did it get to 134 maybe? No, 130. So from 34 to 130, and now it's back at 42. That's insane. Could be an opportunity for a bounce if there's some kind of data or something that comes out defending it, but I know absolutely nothing about this company. That just seems like of course it's If that's their only drug or their only thing they have in the pipeline, then I can understand it and why it's like that. But if they have other stuff going on, then maybe there'll be a bounce. Maybe this is oversold. I mean, that's a crazy amount of selling to go for $100 down to under 42. We'll see. LKNCY. You want to look at that? Okay. LKNCY. And what was the other one? Somebody said Jan is moving a little bit. Okay. And my screen's frozen, so that's awesome. That's a pretty nice move. So we got this. This is up almost 16% from 730s to the 830s, so up $1 a share basically at this point. That's a good thing. Let's see what we got here. Zoom out a bit. So it's kind of faded from the $11 area down to fund support around $7 and kind of bouncing off that now. So we'll see if that can hold. I wouldn't really be buying it up here. I mean, it might end up going back to 9, but I wouldn't be surprised if it pulls back down to 8 or so before it goes back up, or maybe even test the 7s again. I know nothing about the stock though. They could have amazing news. And what's it called? Luckin Coffee. I think I've actually heard of this one. To pay $180 million to settle accountancy fraud claims. So they're gonna settle their accountancy fraud claims. That was 12 days ago. So that was probably this move right here, which is good. It looks like it's kind of one of those stocks that kind of does this, where it goes up, comes down and consolidates and curls, and goes up, and comes down and consolidates and goes up. So maybe we're in another period of that consolidation. Although I have talked about how I see over and over in the stock market things happening in threes before they fail. So also watch out for that. Maybe I'm frozen. Maybe nobody can see me. So annoying internet. We've had the ice and the snow going on outside here in the Midwest. And yeah, everything out there is pretty icy. Tree limbs breaking, all that wonderful stuff. Sewer backing up again today. Just gotta love it. That 20 or 30 bucks I made today is not gonna help enough. Oh, it figures that today, doesn't it just figure that today, after yesterday, talking about needing to pull the trigger more and seeing things play out the way that I planned them to, but not pulling the trigger. It figures that today I'd be like, hey, let's try pulling the trigger a little more. And it happens to be a slow market day, and things don't really pan out the way I think they will. You gotta love that. Well, let's see. Anything else? BT's kind of recovered from yesterday. I don't really see. I'm tired. If you can't tell, I don't really see much else. Maybe I'll try to make another video later on, like I did yesterday. Something more teachable, or talking about something regarding trading. Since it was a slower day in the market today, there's not as much to talk about. So maybe we'll jump on and do something later on. Not sure what yet. I still have not made my how much I make with YouTube video. I think that's like a rite of passage when you start being monetized on YouTube. when you get monetized on YouTube and you actually start making your first bucks with YouTube, I think it's a rite of passage to make that how much I make with X amount of subs with YouTube trading video or with YouTube ad revenue video. You got to make that video, and then you sit there and hope that it goes viral and that you actually gain a bunch of subscribers and views from the video about how much you make. And some people have had a lot of luck with that. So of course I'll try it. I'll make that little video. And because I'm very shocked at how much I make with YouTube, which is not a ton of money, but JRJC, nice looking chart on the daily, coming out of long consolidation. JRJC. I've showed it on my live stream before how much I make on YouTube, but it does surprise me because everybody else I see making those how much I make on YouTube videos, their what they get paid per view is really low compared to what I get paid per view. So I guess it's from what I understand, it's the niche or niche. I don't really know how you say that. There's some dumb redneck Midwest guy. So I don't know if it's niche or what, but anyway, I've showed it before on here, but I guess it's the niche or the niche that you're in. Depends a lot on how much advertisers are willing to pay, and all my stuff is clean and friendly to advertisers, and I don't swear a bunch and go off on tangents on here. So when it's advertiser friendly, and then I guess because it's finance related, stock market, etc., it pays more. So pretty excited about that. And I've been averaging like $350 or so a month just with my little account, less than 2,000 subscribers. So that's pretty awesome, I think. A lot more than I ever expected it to make at this point. If I could get it to like 10,000 subscribers or something, that'd be pretty good income. I'd be real excited about that. BNGO, lower price stock, huge gap up today. Oh yeah, I was looking at this. So we got a big gap there, and then it filled the gap. Notice how we filled that gap. Stocks love to fill gaps, and then curled down. You're right, and now it looks like it's got resistance, multi-day resistance around $12 because we see it right here. Let's zoom in just a hair. Maybe too much. Maybe I just got to put it up here. Look at it on a little bigger screen. Yeah, so we're seeing like right here around $12 right there, right there, right there, right there. So it's basically it's not even a double or triple top, but a quad top at that $12 range. So I'd be looking for it to break that. If it breaks that, maybe we see a nice run back up towards 16 or so. So time will tell. That'd be pretty cool if that happened. Looks like it got rejected at that same level again today. We see it there, and then we see it on the 1 minute. So if it could get some volume, some good news and some volume, and break past that 12, maybe we could see a nice big move. That would be cool. BNGO, and Bingo was his name-o. I think I'd almost fall over dead if I got to 10,000 subs. I was hoping to get to 2,000 by the end of the year, which isn't going to happen because we're only a couple days away. But still, I can't complain at all. It's pretty awesome. Making $350 a month. I thought if I was lucky, I might make $100 a month by the end of the year. So I guess it's just the trading finance niche that I'm in pays a lot more, because I definitely make a lot more per view than what most of the YouTubers that show their back door of their channel. They don't make that much. I don't know why, but I guess that's why. So this looks like maybe 139, 140 or so. Could be the resistance. Is that where looks like it kind of had some trouble around there, and the $1.50 150 area. Another one kind of, yeah, exactly. We had a top right there, and it's the $1.50 150. So that's going to be a little bit of resistance. Breaks that though, and maybe we see a move up higher towards $2. Looks like it's been having a little bit of news, maybe. Accredited. Achieves key milestone with software up. So yeah, they've been putting out some news, getting some movement. That's good. CNFR. So let's see what we got on CFNR. Nice big move from the mid 2s to over 6. That's pretty big, almost up 100% as of right now. What's causing this? I don't know. Is this another UUU scenario where it's just moving for no apparent reason, or is there actually news on it? Let's zoom up farther. Zoom up farther to 2 years or 3 years. So yeah, it doesn't have a very good long-term chart. Very downtrending, the long-term chart. Pretty choppy. Volume has been sporadic. So looks like maybe, yeah, the $5 area might be your level of resistance. Above that, might get that move back up to 6, but it's coming down now. I'm gonna guess that there's probably not any major news on it, and that's why it's coming back down. But I don't know. Could be like UUU, where tomorrow morning it opens way up higher. I'm just not willing to hold overnight and risk things because of how many times I've been burned on that. But a lot of people do that and make money with it. Roland Wolf did. Hell yeah, it'll keep growing. Just keep believing, making videos, it'll happen. Gotta crawl before you walk and walk before you run. Amen. Thank you. Wise words. Anyway, I think I'm going to get off here. There's not really anything else that I see. Slow day today. We've kind of talked about the ones that are moving that I've seen. UVXY. RMG. Did I look at yeah, I'm looking at. I got CNFR up right now. My Nomad Trader friend. That's what this is here. Do you know if there's news on it? Chart wise, I don't love it because it's downtrending a lot. So you're going to start running into a lot of resistance. As it gets more eyes on it, it'll end up finding more people shorting it and trying to drive it down. Kind of like you see it all the time, but when you got all this overhead resistance, it's not ideal. Doesn't mean it can't move. If it gets news or gets enough volume, it can bust through that, but it's not something I like to see right now unless there's news on it. Okay, well, let's get off of here and go find something more exciting to do. Market's a little bit boring today. Ended the day, like I said, up whatever it was, up $110 in the CMEG account. and down 83.50. So 109 minus 83.50. So I made $26 before commissions, and commissions in CMEG were, let's see, $23. So basically, and I've got discount codes on that that'll add back in. So I'm going to end up break even, maybe plus like $5 or $10 on the day. So yeah, it is what it is. Kind of a frustrating day, slow day. Was down $70. Then I was up 100 and some bucks. Then I lost the 83 on that stupid trade I should have never taken, and ended the day break even, which could be a lot worse, I guess. We can definitely look at RMG. I was looking on it a second ago. Yeah, there it is. So RMG on the daily, let's look at the daily chart. So it's come down quite a bit. It's pulled back pretty heavily, back below on the daily on RSI, back below 70. And yeah, it could be getting to a point where it might consolidate. We got the ticker change and all that happening. So we'll see what happens. But let's look at 15-minute, zoom out. So there we are on the 15-minute chart on 20 days. So it's moved up, got overbought, corrected, and came back down. Now it's kind of consolidating in this upper 20 area, kind of like it did over here. So we'll see what happens now. If I was going to guess, I would say it will keep consolidating tomorrow and then maybe make a move higher, but you never know. We'll have to see what the overall market does, if that plays a factor in it and weighs it down or what. But hopefully this blue line here, the magical 200 moving average, will hold up. It likes to kind of follow that and somewhat react to it. So in theory, hopefully it stays above 26 or so, and maybe we can see it curl back up.